Hey, what's up? It's Justin with NRN, and welcome to the Pit Stop. Man, I tell you what, if you've been here in the North Carolina area, this has been the most bizarre winter I have ever remembered. We've had like 2 weeks of snow right now. It's been the snowocalypse. North Carolina has been crazy, and I'm ready for the snow to move out. And I imagine Dell Jr. is too. Did you see this? Did you see this on Twitter? Dell Jr. T-boned a tree. I guess he was trying to help someone else who was stuck in the snow, like the good Samaritan he is. Dell Jr. is a really cool guy. He was trying to help them get out of the snow, and in doing so, he wound up in the tree somehow. So snow driving apparently isn't his thing, but I'm looking forward to getting down to Daytona Beach just a week away, and hopefully get away from all this snow mess, unless the snow follows me. Do you think the snow will follow me? Has it ever snowed in Daytona? Gosh, I hope it doesn't snow in Daytona. But I hate to do this. I'll kick us off with some bad news, and I hate to do that, but racing legend Dan Gurney passed away this week. And I know that sometimes the word legend gets thrown around quite a bit to describe certain drivers, but Dan Gurney is truly a racing legend. He raced in NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, IMSA, the 24 Hours of Daytona, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And he was able to win in just about everything he ever drove. So, a legend for sure is how you should describe Dan Gurney. And his race has finally been run, and we will miss Dan Gurney. Moving on, Danica Patrick will be back in familiar colors for 2018. GoDaddy, who sponsored her for years, will be helping her run her last two races, the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500. Danica Patrick said, and I quote, "This is definitely the way I want to finish my racing career at these two iconic races, backed by my iconic longtime sponsor." Now, currently it's unclear what team she will be paired with, but with a sponsor like GoDaddy, that should attract some attention and get her a pretty good ride. And this is good news for her because, man, I tell you, it has been a tough offseason for Patrick. The days have not been kind. Towards the end of the season, there were rumors floating around that Patrick was going to drive the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500, and that she was going to do it for Chip Ganassi. But it looked like that deal fell through because you never heard anything else about it. And then a few weeks ago, it was unclear whether she'd be racing at all in 2018 because she had been going around, I'm going to race this, I'm going to race that. But no one gave her a ride. So it looked like she was going to be racing anything. And then, of course, there was the big split with her longtime boyfriend, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But hey, a lot can happen in a week. And things are starting to look up. First of all, she's moved on to Aaron Rodgers, it seems, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Safe to assume Stenhouse Jr. isn't going to be a Green Bay fan. And it looks like she's got 1,000 miles of racing ahead of her on her plate for 2018. Because it finally looks like she can get a ride and do some racing. And who knows? If she goes out and runs really well in these two races, maybe she gets a long-term deal in the future, and this isn't the end of her career. That, of course, is if she can finish both of these races. But look, this actually brings me to a larger discussion. And this is totally opinion-based, and I don't know if you want to hear my opinion or not. You're listening to this thus far, so I assume you kind of do want to hear my opinion in some way. But say what you will about Patrick. She obviously has some talent for racing. So she may not run well, and she may not always finish, but she can do it. She can hang with the guys. And when she first arrived on the scene, I was very excited and optimistic that at what she could possibly do. You know, to see a female driver mix it up with the boys. I really wanted to see that. Hell, I still do. But Patrick didn't work out. And she had years with sponsorship backing and Stewart-Haas race cars. That, by the way, every driver that has been on Stewart-Haas has been able to not only win races, but they have 2 championships. And yet she never won anything, and she never finished in the top 5. However, there are still plenty of female drivers out there who deserve the same chance that she got. Her name, Danica Patrick, gave her those opportunities in NASCAR. Not her driving. Although it was really good in the Indy car, she was really good in the Indy cars. I expect her to do well in the Indy 500. I do not expect her to do well in the Daytona 500. But if any other driver had been given her sponsors and her cars and hadn't performed, they'd be gone. In fact, they'd probably be gone at the end of the first season. Because NASCAR is a results-based sport, and they want results quickly. These young drivers coming in don't have time to really develop themselves. They have to hit the ground running, hit the ground racing, really, and they have to prove that they can win races fast, or else they're gone. But year after year, they gave her the chance, and they snubbed other female drivers. Drivers like Jennifer Jo Cobb. Jennifer Jo Cobb, who I really admire. She's really nice, too. She did an interview with me back in college when she didn't have to. But she did it. She's awesome. And she works extremely hard to get her car out on the track week in and week out. She has a truck. I think she owns her own truck. And no, she doesn't have any flashy sponsors. In fact, I think she sponsors herself. And her truck isn't all that fast. But she's out there fighting to live her dream. So it's time for NASCAR and sponsors to give these women a chance. Car owners, give drivers like Jennifer Jo Cobb a shot in a top team and see what happens. Here locally, there's a very talented driver named Haley Moody. She's great. She's awesome. Lots of talent. She'd do well in NASCAR. Look her up if you've never heard of her. Haley Moody, hell of a driver. Give her a shot. She got skills. And they're multiplying. Moving on from that soapbox, though, Seth Barber has been given the crew chief duties for David Reagan in the number 38, which has also found some sponsorship, although limited. 1000bulbs.com will partner with the team for a few races. Seth Barber and David Reagan are no strangers. They worked together once before, back in the Roush Fenway days. Barber was the team engineer for that car, and now he is moving on to bigger and better things. He is going to be the crew chief for the number 38. Maybe that driver pairing can produce some good finishes. But we're now just 1 week away from the start of the 56th running of the 24 Hours of Daytona, and don't you know your boy is going to be there. So if you want to follow along on my journey to my first 24, you can follow me on the NRN Facebook page, NRN Noble Racing Network. You can also follow me on the Twitters at Noble Racing Net and on Instagram at Noble Racing Net. So follow all of those to live vicariously through me in Daytona Beach and don't miss any of the action. And hell, I'm looking forward to it, just to get down there and get away from the snow. Driving 8 hours down to watch 24 hours of racing and then driving 8 hours back. Should be fun. But so far there are 50 cars signed up for the race. And out of those 50 cars are drivers from 25 different countries. The world will be watching. In fact, I think every continent but Antarctica will feature a driver in the race. Does Antarctica even have race car drivers? Is that even a thing they do in Antarctica? I have no idea, but 25 different countries. But the field is full, man. Full of talent. Listen to this. Drivers from IMSA, previous winners of not only the 24 Hours of Daytona, but the 12 Hours of Sebring and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. A 2-time Formula One world champion, wonder who that is. 4 Indy 500 winners, 5 IndyCar champions, and 2 NASCAR Cup Series winners. Damn, what a field. What a field. This is going to be fun. Out of those 50 cars in the race, 20 of them puppies are prototypes, including the defending race winners Wayne Taylor Racing. The number 10 Cadillac will have a very different lineup than last year, which featured NASCAR champion Jeff Gordon. But Jordan Taylor is the only driver returning, but he'll be in good company because he'll be joined by Indy 500 winner Ryan Hunter-Reay. Ricky Taylor, who was a part of that winning team last year, will be in the number 7 Acura ARX 05 for Team Penske. And listen to this lineup that Roger Penske has got. Ricky Taylor, who we already mentioned, plus 3-time Indy 500 winner Helio Castroneves. I think he was also a Dancing with the Stars winner. And Graham Rahal, who won the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2011. That's in the number 7. Listen to the number 6. In the number 6 Acura for Team Penske, 3-time winner of the 24 Hours of Daytona and 2-time Indy 500 winner Juan Pablo Montoya, along with 2016 WeatherTech champion Dane Cameron and the 2016 IndyCar champion Simon Pagenaud. Penske power, baby. That team is going to be dangerous. Of course, the star of the show will be Fernando Alonso in the number 23 United Autosports Ligier LMP2. Two-time Formula One world champion Fernando Alonso. And he'll be paired up with Lando Norris and Phil Hansen. Also, F1 driver Lance Stroll will share duties with the number 37 Jackie Chan DCR Oreca. It'll be cool to see him in the race. And the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac will be Eric Curran and former F1 driver Felipe Nasser. Also on the team is Mike Conway and Stuart Middleton, and NASA. So far, in all of the practice sessions that they ran, he was the quickest and at the top of the chart, so keep an eye on that team. But moving on to my favorite class, the GT Le Mans. Love those cars. Chip Ganassi is returning with the beautiful Ford GT to defend his 2017 class victory with the same exact pairing of drivers he had last year, Joey Hand, Dirk Mueller, and Sebastian Bourdais. In the number 67 Ford GT will be Ryan Briscoe, Richard Westbrook, and the most winningest active IndyCar driver in the field, Scott Dixon. What a lineup in those Fords, man. And those Fords will go head-to-head with the previous winners of the last 2 seasons of the WeatherTech Championship, Corvette. The historic number 3 Corvette will be in the race with Antonio Garcia, Juan Magnussen, and Mike Rockenfeller behind the wheel. And of course, no race is complete without a Ferrari. And the number 62 Risi Ferrari 488 will be in the race with Alessandro Piaguidi, Tony Vilander, and James Collado, who drove that car last year. But the largest field in the race by far is going to be the GT Daytona class. It is packed 21 cars from 8 different manufacturers. Christina Nielsen will be in a different ride this year. She's moved over to the 58 Wright Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3R. And she'll be paired up with Patrick Long, who, by the way, is the only American Porsche driver. Little fact there for when you go to trivia night. If that question comes up at trivia night, I doubt it will. But if it does, Patrick Long, America's only Porsche driver. And then we have NASCAR driver AJ Allmendinger. The Danger. He won the 2012 24 Hours of Daytona, and he will join Michael Shank Racing in the Acura NSX. He'll be sharing driving duties with one of my favorite drivers, Catherine Legg. I'm hoping to meet her while I'm down there. But man, what a field this is going to be. This is going to be one hell of a race. I am so excited to watch this race, just 1 week away. And again, don't miss anything on NRN. I'm going to try to be, taking you guys on the full ride. I've got pit passes, so that'll be fun to see. I'm going to go over there and camp out, and spend some time walking up and down pit road, showing you all the pit stops. I'm so excited about this. I've got the stadium pass, I've got an infield pass, and a pit pass. So don't miss any of that. Stay tuned to NRN to stay caught up with everything that's going on down there in Daytona. And racing season is back, man, because after the 24 Hours of Daytona, all of it starts. So, man, we are just 1 week away from actually seeing some racing again. But that was the pit stop, man. That's your pit stop for the week. I'm Justin with NRN, and next week I'll be in Daytona. So take it easy, guys, and I'll see you around.